Across the silent fields of America, a hidden war is raging. The enemy is not foreign. It's not even human. It's fast. It's cunning. And it's multiplying at a rate that has farmers, scientists, and entire states on edge. They tear through crops like a living wildfire, ripping apart ecosystems with every step. They've been called nature's wrecking balls. But their real name? Feral hogs. Once confined to a few wild corners, they now sweep across millions of acres, leaving behind a trail of destruction measured not in hundreds, not in millions, but in billions of dollars. Today, we dive deep into this unstoppable invasion, from their staggering reproductive power to the high-tech, adrenaline-charged battles being waged to bring them down. And what we uncover might just change the way you see the land beneath your feet. Feral hogs, wild, powerful, and relentless, are rewriting the story of rural America. At first glance, they may seem like nothing more than oversized pigs with a bad temper, but their true impact is far more dangerous. Each year, these invasive creatures cause an estimated $2.5 billion in damage across the United States. In the southern states alone, the figure soars to $65 million, tearing at the lifeblood of farming communities. The roots of the crisis run deep, and the solution isn't simple. It begins with biology, a reproductive engine that refuses to slow down. Wild boars can breed year-round, with peak periods in the chill of late autumn and the dead of winter. Once pregnant, a sow carries her litter for about 115 days, giving birth to anywhere between 4 and 12 piglets at a time, with an average of 5 or 6. Under the right conditions, those young will themselves be ready to breed in under a year, setting off an endless chain of population growth. With an estimated 9 million feral hogs now roaming the U.S., it's no wonder forests can't sustain them. Starved of resources, they march into farmland, golf courses, and even suburban neighborhoods. The USDA's research paints a grim picture. Feral hogs cause up to $15 billion in agricultural damage each year. Their method is brutally effective. They root into the soil with their tusks, overturning crops, tearing up irrigation systems, and compacting the earth until it's nearly ruined. Each acre they invade suffers an average of $190 in damage. Corn, soybeans, rice, wheat, peanuts, vegetables, nothing is safe. To the hog, it's an endless buffet. To the farmer, it's devastation. Texas has become ground zero in this battle. In 2023, state-led hunting campaigns removed over 51,000 hogs. The arsenal includes helicopter hunts, professional sharpshooters, and cutting-edge tracking technology. The motivation is clear. In Texas alone, feral hogs rack up an annual bill of around $400 million in damages. The cost isn't just the farmers. Golf courses, parks, and private lands are also targets. One prominent Houston golf course spent over $5,000 repairing fairways shredded by these animals. The threat goes beyond property. Feral hogs can be dangerous to humans. In June 2024, a San Antonio resident was attacked while walking, one of 450 reported hog attacks in the U.S. that year. Their tusks can slash open skin in seconds, and their aggressive nature means they'll charge without hesitation. For families living near wooded areas, the risk is constant. Modern hunters are now turning to advanced technologies to fight back. Thermal imaging and night vision have changed the game, revealing the hog's movements under the cover of darkness. These tools, paired with precision rifles like the BMCX, allow teams to target the animals during their most active hours. In coordinated hunts, multiple shooters strike at once, cutting down entire sounders before they can scatter. It's not just about sport. It's about survival for crops, livestock, and communities. But perhaps the most dramatic method is helicopter hunting. From above, hunters can spot and pursue entire groups of hogs across rough terrain, taking down dozens, sometimes hundreds, in a single day. The experience is intense, but it comes with strict rules. Hunters must be 18 or older, licensed, and in top physical condition to handle the dangers of the air. It's not just a hunt. It's a tactical operation. For those who prefer a quieter approach, bow hunting offers an alternative. In East Texas, where hog numbers are especially high, the cooler months from November to March are prime time. Regulations help keep the hunt sustainable, but the reality remains. This is a species that adapts faster than it can be eliminated. Other states are looking to Texas for answers. Florida and Mississippi have smaller hog populations, around 500 in some regions. But the threat is growing. Both states are adopting elements of Texas's aggressive strategy, but they have yet to match its results. The feral hog crisis is a nationwide puzzle, and while progress is possible, it demands relentless innovation and cooperation. The war against feral hogs is not just about protecting crops. It's about preserving the balance of entire ecosystems, safeguarding public safety, and defending the livelihoods of countless Americans. As their numbers climb and their territory expands, one question looms over every field, every farm, and every forest. Will we find a way to stop them before it's too late? In the quiet hours of morning, when the first rays of sunlight spill across the fields, a shadow moves through the grass. It's not a predator stalking its prey, but a familiar figure. Sleek feathers, sharp eyes, and a voice that carries on the wind. The wild turkey. Often overlooked, this bird is far more than a symbol of autumn tables. It's a master of survival, a forager, a sentinel, and in growing numbers, a problem few saw coming. From their remarkable flock intelligence to the surprising economic toll they can bring. Today we uncover the untold story of America's most underestimated bird, one that can charm with its beauty, yet challenge the very balance of the land. The wild turkey is a creature of habit, instinct, and surprising sophistication. It thrives in flocks, moving as a single living organism through forests, meadows, and open fields. Together, they search for seeds, fruits, and insects, pausing often to raise their heads and scan the horizon. Their eyes are sharp, their hearing sharper still, and it is this vigilance that has kept them alive for centuries. Every rustle in the brush, every distant movement, is evaluated in an instant. Danger means swift, coordinated retreat, a skill honed by generations of living in the wild. Turkeys are day feeders, most active when the sun is up and the light is clear. They forage methodically, scratching the soil with quick, deliberate motions to uncover food. Their menu changes with the seasons. In spring, tender shoots and insects dominate. In summer and fall, berries and seeds. In winter, hardy nuts and what remnants they can find. Communication is the lifeline of the flock. Soft clucks signal reassurance. Sharp purrs express contentment, and a piercing, urgent call can freeze the entire group at the scent of danger. These vocal exchanges aren't just survival tools. They are the glue that hold the flock together. But beauty and intelligence are not without consequence. The recent surge in turkey populations has created an unexpected strain on agriculture. In the wild, flocks balance the ecosystem, keeping insect numbers in check and aiding seed dispersal. In overpopulated areas, however, they become competitors, not collaborators. They forage in crop fields, trampling young plants, stripping grain heads, and leaving behind flattened, barren rows. Farmers can watch months of labor vanish in days. Overcrowded flocks also compete with other wildlife for scarce food, upsetting delicate ecological balances. The impact extends beyond the fields. In suburban and rural communities, turkeys wander into roads, creating hazards for drivers. Their droppings collect in parks, near schools, and even in backyards, raising sanitation concerns. And while they may not carry the menace of a predator, an aggressive turkey defending its territory can intimidate pets and even people. What was once a welcome sight in the distance has, in some places, become an unwelcome guest. For wildlife managers and farmers, the question becomes urgent. How do you control a population without destroying the species? Hunting has proven to be one of the most effective tools. Regulated hunts thin overcrowded flocks, easing the pressure on crops and restoring some balance to the land. Done properly, hunting doesn't just protect agriculture. It sustains tradition, provides food, and gives local hunters a role in conservation. Supervised hunts ensure the process is safe, ethical, and compliant with local laws, avoiding reckless or wasteful practices. Yet hunting turkeys is no easy task. It demands patience, skill, and respect for the animal. Safety begins before the first step into field. Maintaining a distance of 15 to 20 meters from the target not only improves accuracy, but ensures the hunter doesn't alarm the bird. The hunter must always be aware of their surroundings, confirming there is no person, building, or unintended target beyond the shot. The wind matters, too. A shift in scent or a sudden rustle can send the turkey running long before the hunter is in range. When the moment comes, precision is everything. The hunter waits, breathing steady, eyes fixed on the bird. A clear, safe shooting angle is essential. One rush movement, one careless step, and the opportunity is gone. Success is measured not just by the harvest, but by the safety of everyone in the field and the welfare of the ecosystem left behind. But hunting isn't the only answer. Conservation efforts offer a different path. Some communities choose to focus on preserving turkey populations while managing their growth through non-lethal means. Public education plays a vital role, teaching residents how to coexist with wildlife and reduce conflict. Sanctuaries provide safe spaces where turkeys can live without the threat of hunting, while restoring natural habitats ensure they have food and shelter without venturing into farmland. By maintaining diverse landscapes, we can support healthy turkey populations that enrich biodiversity instead of straining it. The story of the turkey is a story of balance. It is a reminder that even the most familiar wildlife can tip the scales if nature's boundaries are ignored. They are not invaders in the way feral hogs are, but they are opportunists thriving in spaces we have altered. Their survival instincts, once perfectly tuned to the wild, now sometimes work against the harmony of shared landscapes. From the soft murmur of feeding flock to the sudden alarm call that silences the woods, the turkey's presence is both a privilege and a challenge. Managed wisely, it can remain a valued part of the ecosystem and our cultural heritage. Left unchecked, it can become another case of too much of a good thing. The choice, as always, is ours. They arrive without warning, like shadows slipping between the folds of daylight. Quick, clever, and utterly fearless. Across vast stretches of Africa, a war is raging. But this battle isn't fought with tanks or soldiers. It's waged between farmers and one of the most cunning invaders nature has ever unleashed, the Chacma baboon. These creatures share 91% of their DNA with us, and sometimes, when you watch them work, it's unsettling how human they seem. But their intelligence isn't their only weapon. They can sprint at 31 miles per hour, leap fences with acrobatic ease, and tear through barriers with jaws strong enough to snap thick wire. They move together in troops, a tightly knit band of raiders. And when they descend on farmland, the destruction they leave behind can wipe out a season's work in a single afternoon. For African farmers, the cost runs into the millions every year, and the battle to defend their land is a test of endurance, skill, and nerve. But the countryside isn't their only hunting ground. In urban areas, the stakes climb even higher. Here, the baboons shed the last traces of shyness, striding boldly through streets, prying open windows, and raiding kitchens as if they owned them. They're not afraid to stand their ground. And if someone tries to stop them, they can lash out with terrifying force. In one township, residents woke to the sound of cabinets crashing and glass shattering, only to find an entire troop tearing apart a small bakery. In another, a mother was forced to shield her child as a baboon darted into their home, snatched food from the counter, and leapt out again in a blur. This fearless behavior mirrors another scourge in Africa, wild boars. Both animals breed rapidly, adapt effortlessly, and test the limits of human patience. For those who live in their path, it's not a question of if they will strike, but when. Many communities have turned to hunters to protect their homes and livelihoods. One such hunter, seasoned, precise, and carrying a Winchester .308, was tasked with tracking a particularly destructive troop. He knew the challenge. Baboon hunting isn't just about marksmanship. It's about reading your enemy. He laid traps, studied their patterns, and waited for the perfect moment. When it came, the shot rang out, but it missed by inches. The silence shattered into chaos. The baboons scattered in every direction, chattering furiously, some doubling back to flank him. Their intelligence turned the hunt into a dangerous game, and in moments, the hunter realized he was no longer predator. In nearby villages, the situation was even worse. Children kept indoors, fields abandoned, the night filled with the unsettling cries of troops gathering just beyond the light. Desperation has pushed innovation, and in recent years, the fight against the Chacma baboon has moved into a new technological era. GPS-enabled traps now allow farmers to track and capture specific troublemakers, reducing the risk to non-target species. Artificial intelligence systems can analyze true behavior and predict raids before they happen, allowing for a rapid response. In some regions, sterilization programs are being tested as a humane, long-term solution to population control, though results are still early and controversial. Above the plains, drones hum softly, their cameras sweeping for movement, feeding live footage back to ground teams who can intercept the animals before they strike. These tools have given communities an edge, but they are not a cure. For every troop driven back, another adapts, learns, and tests the defenses again. The reality is sobering. The Chacma baboon is not an enemy that can be completely eliminated. It is a force to be managed, a puzzle to be solved each day anew. But Africa is no stranger to resilience. Across the continent, farmers are sharing strategies, scientists are refining technology, and communities are standing shoulder to shoulder in the fight. The battlefields are not marked on any map. They're the maize fields, the open markets, the quiet kitchen where a loaf of bread rests on the counter. And on those battlefields, the war continues. Some days, the baboons win. Other days, the people push them back. But in this contest of wits and willpower, every victory, no matter how small, feels like a triumph. Because for those who live here, defending the land isn't just about protecting crops. It's about holding on to a way of life and proving that even the most relentless invader can be met with equal determination. Bear encounters in Alaska, in the far reaches of Alaska, where the mountains stand like ancient guardians and the air carries the crisp scent of snow and pine. There's a silence so deep it feels alive. This is not the kind of quiet you find in a meadow or a forest clearing. This is a silence of vast, untamed wilderness, a silence that listens, that watches, that waits. The people who live here understand that every rustle in the brush, every distant crack of a branch, could mean something is moving nearby. And in this land, one creature commands the greatest respect: the grizzly bear. Their presence lingers like a shadow over every trail and valley. You don't just walk here. You move with caution, because the moment you forget where you are, you may find yourself staring into the eyes of a predator that has ruled these lands for thousands of years. Peter the grizzly. Peter is no ordinary bear. His massive frame moves with the weight of experience. His thick fur scarred from battles with rivals and harsh winters. In his world, dominance is survival, and Peter has earned his place at the top. Every step he takes is deliberate, every motion heavy with purpose. His senses are razor sharp, picking up the faintest scents carried on the wind. He hunts not just with strength, but with intelligence, knowing when to conserve his energy and when to unleash it in a sudden, explosive charge. Watching him from a distance, you feel the kind of awe that is tinged with fear, a reminder that you are witnessing a predator perfectly designed by nature to rule this unforgiving wilderness. History of bears in Alaska. Bears have haunted Alaska's forests for longer than any of us can truly grasp. Written records from the early 1800s speak of encounters between trappers, explorers, and these giants of the wild. But the truth is, they have been here far longer, shaping the ecosystem, influencing the movements of prey animals, and carving their presence into the land itself. They are not just animals here. They are symbols of endurance and raw strength, woven into the culture and stories of Alaska's people. Even now, in the age of satellites and electric light, stepping into their territory feels like stepping back into a time when humans were just another part of the food chain, preparing for the hunt. When you set out to hunt a bear in Alaska, you do not simply grab your gear and walk into the woods. You prepare like you are entering a trial of survival. My hunt was planned for 5 days, and every detail mattered. Food, shelter, ammunition, clothing. Each choice could mean the difference between success and failure. The weather could turn without warning, transforming a clear day into a storm that could pin you down for hours. Every step of preparation carried a quiet tension, because hunting here is not about chasing an animal. It is about meeting it on its own terms, in its own domain. Firearm versus bow hunting. One of the most important decisions a hunter faces here is whether to use a firearm or a bow. A rifle gives distance, speed, and stopping power, advantages that can mean everything when facing a charging bear. But But a bow offers silence, precision, and a closeness to the hunt that cannot be matched. With a bow, you feel every heartbeat, every breath, as you wait for the perfect shot. Both paths demand skill and courage, but the choice shapes the very soul of the experience. Some hunters will tell you that taking a bear with a bow is the purest test of patience and nerve a person can face. Kodiak Island Hunt. Our journey began on Kodiak Island, a place as beautiful as it is dangerous. The coastline is a mix of jagged cliffs and sweeping beaches, with forests that seem to breathe in rhythm with the ocean. This island is home to some of the largest bears on Earth, their size fueled by rich salmon runs and plentiful food. Moving through this terrain feels like stepping into a living painting, until you notice the massive paw prints pressed deep into the mud. Each print is a silent warning that you are not the only one walking here. First bear taken down. When the moment came, it happened fast. My hands tightened around the rifle, my breath slowing as I steadied the sights. The bear's movement was almost dreamlike, its massive shoulders swaying as it turned. Time seemed to stretch, every sound falling away except the thump of my heartbeat. Then, a single breath, a squeeze of the trigger. The shot rang out, and the bear staggered, a ripple of raw power slowing, faltering, then falling. Even in that moment of triumph, there was no celebration, only respect for the life that had just ended and the weight of taking it. Processing the bear. Once the hunt was over, the real work began. The experts among us moved with careful precision, making clean cuts to preserve the hide for a rug or display. The meat was handled with the same care, every part of the animal respected and used. There was no waste here. In this land, hunters understand that taking a life comes with responsibility. The silence returned as we worked, broken only by the sound of knives on hide and the distant cry of a raven circling above. The hunt was complete, but its memory would stay with us, a reminder of the bond between predator and prey, hunter and hunted, and the wild heart of Alaska that beats beyond the reach of roads and fences.